In this lecture, we will study about the Parry-Robin syndrome. Why it is called as Parry-Robin? Because it was firstly described by a French physician named as Parry-Robin. It is also called as Robin complex, Parry-Robin anomalat, and Parry-Robin malformation. So what is anomalat? It is basically one anomaly leading to the other. So there's a sequential involvement of the organs. Anomaly, what is anomaly? Which is not normal. So it is important that Parry-Robin syndrome is an anomalat. So it is a triad of micrognathia, retrognathia, cleft palate and glossotosis. So hallmark feature is the micrognathia or the retrognathia. So what does micro stands for small and gnathia for jaw, and retrognathia, retro for behind and gnathia for the jaw. So what is glossotosis? It is backward displacement of tongue or the drooping of the tongue. So we have several theories, one of which is the mechanical theory that describes the anomalat of the Parry-Robin. So it says that there is mandibular movement. If there is a restricted mandibular movement, there will be the hypoplastic mandible that will prevent the normal descent of tongue. So if there is a drooping of tongue, it will not lead the palatine shelves to fuse. That will lead the cleft palate. So this is normal case. In this normal case, palate, tongue, and this is jaw. So tongue will not obstruct the fusion of the palatine shelves. So there is a normal formation of the palate. But in the Parry-Robin syndrome, the primary anomaly that occurs, the retrognathia or the hypoplastic mandible. So this is palate and this is retrognathia jaw, and it will cause the drooping of tongue or the backward displacement of tongue. So it will tongue will obstruct the fusion of the palatine shelves, leading to the cleft palate. So cleft palate is seen in the 50% of cases of Parry-Robin syndrome. So this diagram you have to draw in the university examination or theory examination, because there is no histopathological diagram in this question. So second theory is the neurological maturation theory. The concept is same. There is a delay in the neurological maturation and inability of the developing fetus to engage in the mandibular movements. So when there is a decrease in the movements of the mandibular, it will prevent the normal descent of the tongue. That will lead to the airway obstruction, because it will also lead to the failure of fusion of the palate, leading to the cleft palate. So the clinical features are the retrognathia, micrognathia as you can see in the picture. Maxilla is normal and there is a obtuse gonian angle due to the micrognathia and the retrognathia, and there is a glossotosis and cleft palate. And the most characteristic feature is the bird-like face. Bird-like face is like maxilla normal and mandible is retrognathic. It appears like that of the face of bird. It is also seen in the Tycho-Collins syndrome other than Parry-Robin syndrome. So other features are the airway obstruction due to the drooping of tongue backwards, Botts of cyanosis, because tongue can lead to the airway obstruction. Cleft palate becomes a U shape or the V shape, and there can occur the obstructive sleep apnea syndrome due to the tongue. So these are some serious complications of the Parry-Robin syndrome. So bird-like face is a characteristic feature. So treatment, we go for the multidisciplinary approach, and mostly we do the mandibular distraction. Thank you.